In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to set up your Plex Media Server for watching your content from any device on your home network. And I'll also show you how to enable and optimize remote access so you can watch your movies and TV shows while you're on vacation or a business trip. Stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you how to get all these movies and TV shows onto your Plex server. And just in case you forgot, I'm Michael Scott, and not the one from The Office.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
Let's be honest, streaming sucks. Prices keep going up, there's ads everywhere, and the quality of the content is worse than ever. And that's exactly why you should set up your own Plex Media Server. My Plex Media Server is ridiculous. Over 2,000 movies and TV shows, almost 4 terabytes of content. It's my very own personal MyFlix, with no ads, no monthly fees, and no weird recommendations. So I should be the king of streaming. But Plex can be hit or miss when it comes to watching your content from different devices, from different places, especially outside your home network. The 2 key factors to having a fully functional Plex Media Server are 1, setting it up the correct way, and 2, knowing the differences between the web browser and the Plex app, and how to correctly sign in to view your media server. Before we start, you need to understand that to watch your Plex server outside your home network, you will need a Plex Pass. Otherwise, remote access will not work. Plex Pass has different pricing options for monthly or lifetime access. And lifetime access is the best deal. You pay one time and never get charged again. However, the monthly pass is between $4 and $7 depending on seasonal sales. So do as you will. And just a quick disclaimer, you should have a dedicated NAS that runs 24/7. If you choose to use a desktop computer or laptop, it's just not as reliable because these devices can turn off or go to sleep. But don't worry, there'll be a link at the end of the video showing different NAS options. Alright, let's fix and optimize your Plex server. Okay, the first thing we have to do is find your Plex server's IP address. If you have a dedicated NAS like me, you can find it in your router's MAC address list or client list. Let's log into your router and look for MAC address list. If you're using your desktop or laptop as your server, then look for that device in your MAC address list or client list. Once you find your server, look for the IP address and write it down. We're going to make the IP address permanent so it never changes. Whatever the IP address of your server is, we'll use the same IP address. We're just going to make it permanent. So write down the IP address. Now in the router settings, go to DHCP server and look for address reservation. Then click on add, and then go to MAC address and view connected devices. Click on the Plex server MAC address and hit save. Next in the IP address field, type in the IP address of the server. Then click on save. Shazam, now you have a permanent IP address. And whatever you do, do not skip this step. For your Plex server to run smoothly and reliably, it must have a permanent IP address. Okay, now in the router settings, look for port forwarding and then click on add. Type in service name, Plex, and then the IP address of your Plex server. Then select individual port. Then type in 32400 for internal and external. Using port 32400 will improve the speed and stability of your Plex server. Select protocol type TCP and hit save. Now your Plex server is fully port forwarded. Let's dial in your Plex settings. So go to your Plex server and make sure you're logged in. And then go to account settings and then remote access. If it's green, it means you're fully accessible outside your home network and you're all good. If it's red, it means it's not accessible outside your home network, but don't worry, we're going to fix it. To fix this, you want to select manually specify public port, and that port should be 32400, the exact same port we used for port forwarding. Now hit retry and it should turn green. Now below that is internet upload speed, we want to type in our max ISP speed. For instance, I have 2 gig fiber, so I'll type in 2000 megabits per second. So just type in your maximum speed. Next is limited remote stream bitrate, and I chose 25 megabits per second 4K. If your devices have trouble playing 4K movies, then lower the bitrate to 1080p. Just play around with the bitrate settings to find out what works best for you. Remember, older smartphones and 4K TVs can struggle with 4K. Now hit save. And the remote access should be green. However, one thing I run into is the Plex server will show its screen for about 20 to 40 seconds and then turn red. Don't worry, that's the Plex server's glitch. I experience this constantly on my server, the same 20 to 40 seconds of being available and then saying it's not. As far as I can tell, it's just a bug in the software. The best way to test remote access is turn off the Wi-Fi on your phone and access the server. If you can access the server, you're all good. If for some reason you can't access the server on your phone, make sure you're logged into the app and turn off any VPNs, and that will fix the issue. Okay, now we're going to optimize our network settings. Okay, in your Plex server, go to Network Settings, and make sure secure connections are preferred. Next, go to Transcoder Settings. For transcode quality, make sure it's preferred higher speed encoding. This works well for my server, but you can always play with the settings. Next, let's go to Plex Web Quality, and then select Automatically Adjust Quality, and then select 12 megabits per second 1080p. If quality is set too high, then videos will start slowly and pause frequently. So you may need to play with the settings to find the sweet spot. But 10 to 12 megabits per second seems to work well. Under Home Streaming, select Recommended Settings and save all changes. Under General, make sure Plex is up to date, and if it's not, update it. Under Player, you can change audio and subtitle settings. These are my settings and you can copy them. Okay, now we're going to fix the media server not showing up in the Plex web browser. This is a common issue I've run into many times. When you open the Plex web browser on your desktop or laptop, and make sure you're signed in to your Plex account. It will usually ask you to sign in using your email. Once you've signed in, your Plex server will show up. Using the Plex app for your TVs, gaming consoles, and streaming devices is the same thing. Make sure you're signed into the Plex account. If not, you will not see the Plex server. You can add the server to your device using the plex.tv/link option, which is very easy. When signing in on your device with the TV link option, it will give you a 4-digit letter number combo to link to the server. Next, go to your server and sign in on your PC or laptop. Make sure you're signed in, and then open a new address bar and type in plex.tv/link, and then type in that 4-digit letter number combo. And now your device will be signed in and linked. This works for TVs, gaming consoles, and streaming boxes. Alright, now I'm going to share 2 troubleshooting tips. First tip, if your server was signed in on your device, but you can't see the server, or it has a yellow cone, log out of the Plex app or the account and then re-sign back in. This fixes most issues. Alright, tip number 2, if you still can't see the server, make sure your NAS or media server is logged in and running. If your server or NAS logged off because of an update or a power outage, then you have to restart it by logging back in. On NAS devices like this, you have to restart the array. So now let's talk about where I got all 2,000 movies and TV shows. There are many different ways to get digital media. The first way is to take your DVDs or Blu-rays and rip them to digital format using software like Handbrake. And by the way, Handbrake is completely free and easy to use. The second way is to purchase digital downloads from online sellers like iTunes or Prime Video. The third way is public domain content. These are older movies and shows that are no longer under copyright and are free to download. And the fourth way to get digital media is piracy. Full disclaimer, I do not promote or encourage piracy or any illegal sharing of copyrighted content. Always follow the laws in your region and only use Plex or a media server with content you have the legal right to own or download. So what is piracy? Piracy is basically getting and sharing copyrighted stuff like movies, TV shows, music, and software. While piracy is illegal, it hasn't stopped people from doing it, especially now that streaming has become so expensive and complicated. The numbers don't lie, and billions of illegal downloads are happening even though digital piracy has been illegal since 1997. Sites like Pirate Bay are infamous for these pirating activities. However, Pirate Bay as a website is not illegal because it offers legal downloads like public content and shareware. However, most people are there for the spicy stuff. That being said, no matter where you get your content, a Plex Media Server is about building a library that you can actually control. And who wants to pay for renting the same movie over and over? Not me. If you want to build a Plex Media Server, check out these videos right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again real soon. Peace.